Real stories, real people, real impact. New York and New Jersey, always on the rise. All right, we've got a great one for you guys today. So, from a horse farm in Michigan to adorning some of the biggest celebrities in her custom pieces, Karla Witukiewicz, the founder of Kwit Jewelry, exemplifies how you can take two totally different worlds and bring them together to create the life of your dreams and some pretty cool pieces of art along the way. Karla, welcome to On the Rise.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, it's great to see you. I love your pieces. I was eyeing your jewelry. So, I am intrigued by these custom pieces that you've created and curated right here in New York.
Mm-hmm.
But I am about equally fascinated about your origin story. So take me back, because we're going from Michigan to Manhattan. Take me back to that horse farm.
The Clydesdale Horse Farm.
The Clydesdale Horse Farm.
So there's a lot of work that goes into a farm and managing a farm. And my grandfather was a builder, and my father was also a school teacher, and he taught wood shop and welding. So I was their mini-me's. So I was around construction and building, but we also, made the handles on the gates and lots of welding. I loved the creativity and the engineering of all of it. So the foundation really started when I was so little.
Yeah.
So then we went from the horse farm to college and metal sculpture class, where we had to make our own tools. And I just, again, fell in love with the welding. So we went from there to every piece in metal sculpture being jewelry. I love jewelry. And I always made meaningful jewelry for myself with symbols of my heritage and things like that. So that's always really stayed true all the way to New York City.
All the way to New York City. So as you were living on the farm, you love nature. You love kind of creating, using your hands. So when you went to school, I would assume that you majored in art or majored in fashion. What did you decide to go into?
I went into advertising and marketing because, I grew up in a family, even though everyone was so creative, even my mom, they were so practical, and I don't think they really thought what they did was creative. It was kind of
a way of life.
The more mentality of, what are you going to be a starving artist when you grow up?
Right.
So I selected marketing and advertising because it was creative. And I had a partial academic scholarship. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll get a business degree. And in the end, it ended up really working out.
Right. But all the while you were pursuing the business degree, you minored in arts, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So I was in the studio soldering, forging metal, melting metal, making jewelry, little boxes. Our professor started us with making fire and our own tools.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were kind of using both sides of your brain.
Definitely.
Doing business and doing art. So how long did that last?
That lasted for 4 years.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then I had a scholarship and internship at the ad agency in town. So I was working in marketing, and it was really creative. It was a small shop, and I was part of the the idea girl, even though I was an account executive.
Right.
And I was promoting things I didn't believe in. I was promoting sugar and plastic, basically, my main clients. And I am so passionate and put everything into what I do. I didn't feel good about it. And I ended up moving back home for the summer. I stopped my career in advertising, and I bought a torch, and I made jewelry out of my parents' garage for the summer.
Wow. So you went back home and you went back to art, essentially your first love.
Exactly.
Tell me about that period of time for you, because if you were like an Avenger or an X-Men, I feel like in that garage, back in your parents' home, that is kind of where you got your superpowers.
I did. And it was really, I'll always cherish that time because, I grew up picking flowers in the fields and doing all the things we spoke of. And then I'm now a young adult having an adult experience living with my parents.
Right.
Because I'm very focused, and I'm putting in that time. I'm putting in the hours. I'm soldering all throughout the night. I was a night owl back then. And I would solder and make pieces all throughout the night. My dad would be waking up and he would sit down and I would lay everything out and he would critique it. It was amazing.
And how did New York get in your sights during this time?
Well, it was Chicago first.
Chicago first.
Baby steps.
Okay. How did Chicago come up?
Chicago came up. I would go to Chicago on the weekends. I gave myself a timeline, and I would go to Chicago on the weekends, and I would look for apartments, and I would interview, and I had a couple job offers, and I had to decide, am I going to do the jewelry full time, or am I going to take a job? And I just went for it. I was like, let's go all in. So it was Chicago designing jewelry.
And then New York?
And then New York.
How long were you in Chicago?
3 years.
3 years. So how did New York come up? Did it seem like just the natural next step
No, not
from?
at all. I was visiting a friend, long
Oh,
weekend.
wow.
So I came to New York for a long weekend. I had not planned on moving to New York. I was so happy. Things were great in Chicago. And I couldn't not move to New York. It was one of those magical times where everything's flowing together. I'm walking into stores and the owner of the store wants to work with me. They're complimenting my jewelry and there's a client there. And it's like I already started working. Everything just fell into place.
It's like you found your tribe. You found your people
Yes.
here in New York.
Walking around the city.
Yeah.
And then I found an apartment in the Garment District on 38th Street.
And then here we are, over 2 decades later. Like here you're still here.
And I went back to Chicago. I basically put whatever I could in my SUV and I moved to Chicago or to New York that month, like within a month.
Usually people hem and haw for like a year or 2 years. Like, am I going to do it? Is this the right next step?
Oh, I just.
But you were like, I'm going to do it. What did your parents think? Because I feel like, again, with you being back home, and I'm assuming that your parents' affirmation like it means a lot to you. But they were seeing you grow as an artist during that time. That they say, you know what? Maybe this is something you should pursue.
No.
They still didn't think so.
No. It was still like them laying out financials, risk, the whole thing. Yes.
They wanted something a little more like guaranteed, a little more surefire and structured and stable. Yeah. But you managed to build that. So tell me about your time in New York City. You found your tribe. You're moving and grooving. You're creating. People are responsive to your work. You're being affirmed as a designer through this. What were some of the pivotal moments for you in your career? Because we're going to get to Meryl Streep in just a minute. But leading up to that, what were some of the big moments in your career?
Big moments in my career. You know, it always starts with the connections that you make. You know, so you meet some stylists and they pull pieces for a shoot. I remember one of my stylist friends was actually at a shoot and he was like, I need your bridal pieces. Can you get them over here immediately? So that piece ended up being on the cover. I don't remember the magazine now, but the team at Carolina Herrera saw it and contacted me. And when I walked in, they had, 4 of my pieces on their inspiration board. So it's moments like that.
Yeah.
One step at a time, something leading to something else.
Absolutely.
And you just keep, like you said, building.
Right. And with every intriguing story, there's the trials and there's the tribulations. And as you were going, you kind of had a fork in the road moment with a diagnosis. Can you share when that happened and what that was like while you're in pursuit, like at that point, like living your dreams here in New York City?
So I was living my dream, and you hear these 3 words, you have cancer, and immediately you need to focus on your health and healing.
Yeah.
So at the time I was doing so much custom work. So it was one-on-one time with major one-of-a-kind pieces that were so sentimental and so meaningful. And that was really where I was at in my career. I was transitioning from, wire wrapping and doing semi-precious gemstone work to rebuilding clients' pieces that they wanted to reinvent and give a
Right.
new life to. And I was learning diamond setting and all of that in the diamond district. But it was all this meaningful jewelry. And so much of my time was going into creating one piece. And I realized I need to sell wholesale. So I need I need other people selling my jewelry. But I wanted to take the meaning and the sentiment and design a collection.
Was that process cathartic for you while you were obviously focusing on your health, but mentally you still have to retreat during that time and kind of pour yourself into something else because you're going through treatments and all of this is happening? Was jewelry creation helpful in your own healing during that part of your life?
Absolutely. Because I love a good challenge
Mm-hmm.
and I needed to do it quickly.
Yeah.
And I was also really taking feelings and transitioning them into words at the time, because that was something that, I was young and it's like, wait, how do I feel? And the collection, it was like I created letter rings. So it was building words, initials, monograms, things like that. And creating a font, that goes back to advertising and lettering and things like that. So it was really, everything was coming together.
How would you say you want others to feel wearing your jewelry? What story do you want them to be able to tell through your pieces?
Well, Kwit is all about the connection, and it's about celebrating who you are. It's the design is a bridge between people, meaning, and memories. So I want people to feel. I want them to feel confident. I want them to feel hugged. I want them to feel compelled to find strength in the beauty from within, their inner beauty, their voice, and celebrate that.
Yeah.
And wear that.
And it's spoken to some pretty powerful women, your pieces, one of them being, and just like that, Sarah Jessica Parker, Carrie Bradshaw, that character wearing one of your pieces. How did that happen? And how did you feel in that moment?
Okay, so I didn't realize it was happening. I didn't get the memo. What happens is I have jewelry in stores.
Right.
And then
how many stores, by the way? How many stores would you say?
Oh my gosh, maybe 15.
15, incredible.
And we love selling online too. But so my mood orb ring is in a store in the West Village.
Okay, is that similar to what you're wearing?
Yes, this.
Okay, could you hold it up a little bit?
Yeah.
There we go. The mood orb ring. That's a very popular one.
It is.
So it caught the stylist's eye or?
The stylist's eye.
Okay.
So Molly Rogers and Danny Santiago saw it at Muse in the West Village. And they paired it with this ethereal, absolutely gorgeous Simone Rashad dress. And so I didn't get the memo. I didn't know that it was going to be in the series. And my phone starts blowing up. So that's how I found out.
How did that moment feel? Like,
it was a for sure pinch me moment. Pinch me. I mean, Sarah Jessica Parker is incredible and iconic. And I was...
And epitomizes style, by the way. Like, that is the affirmation.
Absolutely. And, I was living in the city for the last couple years of the Sex and the City series. So I feel like my creative friends and I were living in a parallel universe to that. So it was definitely a pinch me moment. I was so honored.
And you kept dreaming. You were still on cloud 9 when Meryl Streep is wearing one of your pieces. And it seems like that's like it wasn't, maybe it was introduced to her by a stylist, but it became a personal favorite of hers. How did that happen?
Same side, Molly.
Yeah.
Molly and Danny, did Devil Wears Prada too. And how did that happen? I guess people just don't want to take the mood ring off when they put it on.
It's magical.
It is magical, and it's about the stone and the metaphysical properties, and it just feels good, and they're very colorful. So we call it a power neutral. So if you're drawn to the stone and the color, you just own it. And it gives you the energy that you need.
Mm-hmm.
It's dreamy.
K Wit has seen incredible growth. Congratulations thus far. But where do you see the brand growing? Where do you see you as a designer growing and going in the next 5 years or so?
Collaborations. It's, again, like I said, it's always about the people, right? And I love a good challenge. So it's fun to step outside yourself and design for another brand or with other designers and have a really nice challenge and create something beautiful. So that and a men's collection, I would love to see.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Karla, it has been so great chatting with you. Thank you so
you.
much for showing us that we can use our own art and talent to inspire people in magical and unexpected ways. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching On the Rise. I'm Vanessa Freeman. Until next time, keep rising.